starting out with the cat. Cats and wine is serious. Cats and wine are serious business.
I think R.
Yeah. R.
Well, hey Internet, I'm Chaz.
And I'm Dan. Welcome to Wine is Serious Business, episode 283. On to more Pinot Noir. Just like we said, the 214s were going to be here soon.
Yeah, yes. One thing we like to do every time when a new vintage pops up is to try a bunch of the introductory level stuff. A lot of the same wines make it out first every year. So I know we do the Commuter Cuvee from John Grochau and some years the McKinlay. But this time I wanted to get into some newer wines. This wine I've never seen before, the Wine Farmer 2014 Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. It says it was produced at Owen Rowe.
I don't know how this fits into their entry-level line, right? Because the sharecropper Pinot Noir is usually around this price point.
Right.
Maybe they changed over, or I'm not really sure.
So it's got a picture of a dude on the label, which you're probably seeing now.
Yep.
And it just says that the belief that great wine is grown, not made. This carefully cultivated signature wine is sustainably nurtured to coax out the delicious flavors and character of Pinot Noir. So sounds like it was. But
Owen Rowe, if you don't know, big producer in the valley, been here a long time, buys fruit from a lot of different places, make a lot of different styles of wine. And this is, anyways, 2014 entry-level Pinot Noir from them under the Wine Farmer.
Got some sassy-looking dude on the label in a suit.
Yep.
And gloves.
Leaning on the barrel. Gripping wood grain.
Gripping wood grain. All right. So let's see how his wood grain Pinot tastes.
Yeah.
Probably not wood grain if they're talking about making a light Pinot Noir.
Probably not too much.
It's light and fruity.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not a lot of oak influence. Maybe it's just me talking shit, but
a little bit of heat I think on there too, which kind of catch me off guard. But
yeah, you kind of smell a little bit of the alcoholic.
Not too disruptive, but
yeah, it's not disruptive, but it's typically it's pretty much just like cherry fruit and berry fruit.
A little bit of raspberries, a little bit of.
Sure.
A little bit of earthy character. Pretty straightforward entry-level Pinot Noir on the nose, I guess.
It's juicy.
Yeah.
It's nice, but it's really good. It's got a good hot hit on the finish.
Yeah, bright, crisp, acidic. Definitely a lot of high tones, like a little earthy on the nose, but that doesn't come through on the palate.
Not at all.
It's like kind of bright, fresh fruit. Really friendly. Kind of jumps out onto the palate.
Agreed. The berry fruit really runs out strong. It's like strawberries, a hint of raspberry. Not much sort of like a lot of these flavors can often end in sort of a tart feel with Pinot Noir. There's no tart flavors on the end of this for me at all. The acid keeps up the fruit, but it's really just sort of like sweet, ripe red berry fruit.
Yep. Getting a little bit of stem in there too, kind of like bramble, like a little raspberry bramble on there. But not too distracting. Boy, both that and the alcohol, I think another 20%, and I'd have a real problem.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's just kind of like structural elements, beefs it up a little bit, keeps it from being a little too candified, because that fruit really is sweet, and I think without a little bit of competition, it might be a little over the top.
Agreed. Yeah, the acid keeps everything in a real nice place here. That's it. It's a pretty easy drinking wine. I mean, this is sort of one that I think a lot of people, you could sort of port for just about anyone and they'd enjoy it. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's really straightforward, right? Like you're just getting red berry fruit. The acid is in a real nice place. The finish is somewhat short and a little bit mellowed by alcohol, but I don't think it's going to distract a lot of people. It's just not like a thinking man sort of Pinot Noir.
And I know I like it way better when I just take it and swallow it down, and just kind of like the wash of flavors and the quick fade works pretty well. Where when I switch it around, it gets
really
a little more
nice.
convoluted.
Yeah. But it's really nice doing just that.
Yeah.
The flavors are really pleasant. There's no sort of harsh feel to it whatsoever. It's a very smooth wine, as people would say. Like it's really nice.
I'd say like a decent wine to bring to like a party if it's not like a wine focused party. Just hanging around, socializing. People are drinking, because I think it'll work for people who are wine nerds and people who aren't.
Yeah.
Nice wine that said not a whole lot of excitement for me, and I like to be able to switch around and think about it a little more. So 86, I'm going to go on it, but an enjoyable bottle and was priced. I think all these are right around $20, just under.
Yeah, this was I think like a $17 bottle of wine.
There we go.
And it totally I think competes at that price point. I think it's a nice wine.
Yeah.
So, but it's straightforward, right? It's Good, mama's Pinot. All right, so
Sorry, Gina.
don't even know what I meant by that. All right, so the second wine we're gonna drink. I guess I didn't even score the first wine. It was 85 to 86 for me.
Yeah.
So I totally feel the same way. It's very good wine.
Oh, what is? I'm loving this one.
This is the McKinlay.
All right.
2014 Oregon or Willamette Valley Pinot Noir.
And so this one came back to me because a couple things I was reading, people were really talking up McKinlay again. We've enjoyed a couple bottles that we had, but it's never been a label that either one of us have really followed.
Yeah, I don't collect any of it.
Yeah, so it
I buy it and drink it every year, or at least once or twice a year. But
yeah, so it kind of drove me. I'm like, man, I should pick this up. I should check it out. Let's see how it's going. Really light in the glass.
Are you kidding me? This is just cloudy, dude.
It is a little cloudy.
It's like almost chunky. Interesting. So yeah,
so probably unfined unfiltered would be my guess.
Definitely.
I don't know if that says anything.
Well, so look at the top here. Like you can see where the
yeah.
See, look at the capsule. Yeah. I mean, look at the sediment at the bottom of this.
Yeah, it's definitely there.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So.
Which generally I think is probably a good thing, right? Like I don't mind stuff being unfiltered. So.
No, not at all. Not at all. Just a complete different wine in glass. Looking at the two of them. So
big time.
Right.
Not quite as fruity. I'm getting a little more like roses, a little bit of earth, and just a little bit of like dirty strawberries on there too.
So now this smells like we were. I guess I was talking on the last wine about how berry fruit can often end with a tart finish. Like this is reminding me of sort of like youthful strawberries.
Yeah.
Raspberry fruit, like crushed raspberries after you picked them or something. I totally agree with the roses too. Like there's a definite floral component to the nose. But you can sense the like sort of tartness or youth to the berry fruit in the nose.
Yeah. Here we go, Cat Cameo.
Yeah.
We're gonna be known for this in like another couple weeks, I think.
Yeah.
What was it go? It was Abraham, right?
Mm-hmm.
Abraham, the white hypoallergenic cat.
Very soft.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, Abe. So, man, that's actually pretty good.
Good complexity on the nose, yeah.
My favorite drink wine.
Boy, I'm into this.
Yeah, this is good wine.
Man, so got that light strawberry flavor right on entry, some good acidity kind of washed across the palate. And then as it moves across the mid palate, there's this great evolution of like tart plums, maybe darker raspberry. The fruit really takes on some weight and depth, really draws you in, gives you something to think about.
Agreed. Yeah, and good acid, good textural components here too. Like this is a little more weighty than the last wine, despite being by less alcohol. Like the alcohol is much more imbalanced.
Totally.
12.5
versus 14.1 on the labels.
14.1, yeah. But the texture here is like more. Like there's a little more substance.
Boy.
There's a lot more depth, complex flavors. It's good.
Getting a little bit of that bramble.
Perfectly in unison.
Yeah, a little bit of that bramble, a little bit of earthy character on the palate. Good contrast here because there's definitely something to think about. Man, like every time I want to start talking about it, I'm coming up with different descriptors. So there's a lot going on. It's fun to say. There's a good sense of evolution. I'm pretty excited about this, man.
Agreed.
This is really enjoyable.
In contrast to the last wine, though, the fruit flavors here have sort of a tart edge. They are in the more youthful sort of category. Like maybe you picked the strawberries just a little too early, and they're still a little white in the center. That's what this is sort of reminding me of, right? The last wine, the Wine Farmer, was a ripe wine. This is not a ripe wine. That said, it's got enough complexity and great structure and texture that really keeps you intrigued. This is a very nice wine.
Yeah.
88, 89 points for me. It's delicious.
I'm going to go 89 on it. Makes it a steal for the sub $20 price point.
Totally.
I got to remember to remark on this. A lot of people always ask, it's a common thing, like, what's good around $20, this wine?
Do you think this comes from, like, picking early? I mean, obviously, in a vintage like 2014, because the alcohol levels are low, right? The fruit has a sort of a tart edge to it. I would love to know if anyone has worked around McKinley or knows any more about this wine.
And I don't know the vineyards, right? Like, are they warm vineyards that you have to pick early? Maybe they're just really cool vineyards that take their sweet time.
Right.
I'm not sure. And I will say, as an interesting contrast to this, too, I don't think this would be such a great contribution at a social party where people aren't thinking about the wine much. Right. Because it is a little more delicate, and I think you could, if you aren't sitting and thinking about it with a chance to appreciate that, it probably wouldn't be such an enjoyable drink. But doing what we're doing right now, this rocks.
And I'd much rather have this with pizza or food, some sort of food, as opposed to the first wine.
Sure.
The first wine I think was better on its own. So, all right, third wine. This is wine we check in on every year.
Yep.
Friend of ours, John Grochau, makes this wine. Typically, this is a solid way to.
Oh!
Yeah.
There we go. Well, learning how to use our new equipment. That's all right. You just handle that.
A solid way to. Well, we gotta pour the actual pours of the wine. This is the rinse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, a solid way to check in on the vintage every year, because this one I think really speaks to the vintage every year.
Yep. I don't like it every year, but some years it represents one of the best values coming out of Oregon. So
agreed.
I look forward to seeing how it's going this time around. I think 14 is going to be good for the entry-level wines too, because it was a warm year. There was lots of quantity. Everybody got as much fruit as they could handle.
High quality fruit too.
Yeah. So I think, and it wasn't crazy hot. Some people think maybe it was a little too warm. You might be in that camp a little bit.
I don't know. I like warm wines.
Sure.
In the first couple years, you have them.
Gotcha.
Right? Like I don't mind a bit of alcohol zing on the finish. I really like how approachable and ripe and delicious a lot of the wines are. I know I'll get called out by David for that comment, but
he also thinks the Willamette Valley's too warm to grow Pinot Noir.
Totally, so. Yeah, he does. He's wrong. So it's okay though. I still love him. So
and another just tip for John Grochau, like congrats. I saw he got written up by an article in Matt Kramer as one of the under the radar wineries to look out for. He's been around for a while, but saying like he's got a lot of respect in local industry and definitely something you should check out. And we agree.
I totally agree. Yeah. John makes a lot of good wine. So. Yeah. All right.
A little more tobacco here, definitely a little more structural elements, a little darker fruit on the nose here.
Yeah, a little bit of like sort of what I would call like stemminess, or I could even sort of smell grape clusters with this. Crushed grape clusters. Cherries, dark cherries.
Yeah, I think
definitely sort of almost in between the last two wines, which is kind of crazy. Like the last, you got the really ripe wine, you got the white wine that's sort of like tart, and then this is sort of earthy and
definitely on the darker side. So I'd be really interested to know kind of the vineyard composition of all of these. Maybe we'll know. Actually, John might see this. If you do, we'd love comments. If you remember where the vineyards are from, that'd be great.
Yeah, oh, that's nice.
Definitely a bigger, darker wine on the palate too.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
but sort of soft edges.
Yeah,
like the fruit's not in like a tart place here. It's sort of like in between. It's not like overly ripe. Good medium balanced cherry fruit. Maybe a hint of plum, light earthiness, but like there's great acid here. And the acid has a really nice feel to it. There's no edges. It's got a really nice soft texture on the palate. Yeah.
I think very full structure. So I'm getting a little bit of like red, dark fruits and red fruits, kind of like maybe like plums, maybe a little bit like raspberries, right on contact. And both the acidity and tannins kind of build up in the center of the palate right away. They don't get really grippy, but they get really full. And then late, the structure kind of fades away and the fruit persists. There's this really delicate, gentle fruit. Kind of like just really kind of background sound. But I like how that evolution is going. And the flavors are interesting. I think it needs a little more time to kind of evolve, which is not something I usually say about wines in the $20 price point. So it's interesting. Right. It's interesting to see that.
Yeah, this could change for the better after, like a year in bottle or something. After you've talked about it, the tannins are a little more apparent. Yeah. But still, the way that the approach of them, they're not gripping the cheeks. They're not abrasive at all. I like that feel to it, and they are definitely more apparent as you take more sips. But,
I'd be excited about tasting another one of these in a year or so, and I feel like it could hold up. Honestly, this with the darker character, whatever. There will be plenty of.
This is nice now, though.
There'll be plenty of $30-ish wines that taste like this coming out of 2014.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I wonder how much is this, or what the alcohol level is. 13.8.
Okay. So
yeah, because there's no heat, there's no sort of burn to me, at least on the finish for this. I think it's nice wine.
Yeah.
solid 87, 88.1.
Yeah, 87 plus for me too. Right now, and I'm pretty confident it's going to be better.
Improved.
And those of you who like a little more darker character, who like a little more structure in the Pinot Noir, I think should really check this out, because this entry level stuff a lot of times, and stuff from Oregon even sometimes, this is wrong, but people say it, gets critique about being too weak or not having enough stuffing.
Right, yeah. This isn't that.
This is full. This is there. It's got all the presence. It's got all the presence of a wine that I'd expect from something that was $45, at half the price, and some really good flavors. Maybe not quite the complexity and excitement I expect at that price point, but this delivers really well for sub 20 again. So
yeah. What was the price point on this?
Right. So.
Oh, $18
18,
retail.
Around
$17.
So yeah,
$16.99, somewhere in there.
Yeah, anywhere. Right, just firmly sub 20. Right, like you're not gonna find it for 12. I don't think.
Knocks it out of the park.
Yep.
Another one that's worth checking in on. All right. So lastly, we have the Willamette Valley Vineyards Whole Cluster 2014.
I'm kind of excited to try it. They're one of the state's big producers. If you see them from I-5. They make some wines I haven't liked so much, but they've also made some that I've really enjoyed. And I think the only other time we've had them on the show was a while back. If you remember that show.
Dan will link that show.
Yeah.
We did an episode called The Sunday Drinker where we
tribute to the Sunday Drinker.
Whoa. Hey, I was excited.
Yeah. Get our phones. This is going to be an expensive show.
So we did a tribute to the Sunday Drinker, which is a very funny wine review. If you have not checked the Sunday Drinker on YouTube, you should search it.
It's 5 years old now.
It's
but
very
they're still
old,
funny. Yeah.
but they're still relevant.
Yep.
So we consumed a bottle of wine in about under 30 seconds each, and it was terrible. I could never recommend. I've never had a hangover like that from wine.
Seriously? Oh,
I was hungover as shit the next day.
Wow.
It was terrible.
The next couple hours were unpleasant for me, but I didn't have any adverse effects. Riesling is good for you, though, and I think that's part of the situation. Anyway, so here we are. Time to do a little more serious contemplation of Willamette Valley Vineyards offerings. So.
Correct. Yeah.
So 2014 whole cluster, right? Also right around $20, right?
Yeah, this was a $20 bottle.
All right, there we go.
So the color here is, I think, a little darker than all the other wines, and it's definitely a dark ruby.
Yeah.
No?
Nice color. I like it.
It's pretty.
Also on the dark side, get a little bit of tobacco here, little plums.
I agree with tobacco, but this is sort of like sort of has like the almost like Oregon aroma of like red earth a little bit.
I can see that,
but it's not. I mean, where these vines are grown is down near Salem, so I don't think they have this sort of red earth character.
Well, I think they got a lot of different vineyards, so I'm not sure where
they have a lot of vineyards. Yeah, it's true.
So these specific grapes, I'm not sure.
But the aromas here are really neat. Like they are sort of what I would classify as atypical Oregon Pinot Noir.
Sure. Is there a funky animal thing going on here? Or is that the cats?
No, I think it's the wine.
All right.
Yeah, it's almost like not a gaminess. It's like
just a little animal, right? It's not like
sure,
cow pies.
But
it's just
Like I'm trying to think. Is it between like a sort of cooked beef aroma, like when you get that sort of seared beef thing going on, where there's like a savoriness included in it? It's somewhat that. It's somewhat like a furry note, like a but at the same time, I can get hints of the sort of barnyardy characteristics that you get out of good Oregon Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
Right? There's little hints of that too, and it's like in this sort of strange place, and all of it is in a place where I find it interesting. None of it's like, oh, this smells like shit. I'm going to
get it out.
Yeah, get it out of here. No, this is all sort of interesting components of the nose that I'm finding interesting, or that I keep going back to.
Yeah, cool complexity, and definitely on the darker side, right? Notice we're not talking about like strawberries, raspberries, and flowers and
blackberries,
and
plums.
Yeah.
It sort of smells like blackberries and plums. Wow. That's really quite nice. I mean, that's really straightforward.
Yep.
But the intensity and the fullness of flavor on the palate is really quite nice.
You can definitely taste the oak here more than the previous three, but not like, oh my god, it's a mouthful of oak. It's of the four we've had, it's the most prevalent. But it provides some richness, right? I'm not an oak hater in general, right? You can overdo anything, but it works all right here, I think.
Agreed. The flavors tend more towards like blackberry fruits. Like there's ripe blackberries here, maybe a hint of like ripe cherry. There is a little bit of sort of warmth or that like flavor that you get from oak without it being tasting exactly like oak. It's just like a warm, like a richness or something that's added to the wine. The texture here is actually very nice. The acids,
like dusty tannins,
acid's in a good place. The tannins are actually kind of nice, like dusty round tannins are something you attribute with pretty good wine. This has that. I mean, the tannins are in a low place. The acid is, I would say, somewhat balanced. This is.
The fruit's kind of got a sweeter feel to it too. It's definitely like riper, kind of juicier, and it's a darker tone than this wine did, but it's definitely got that same level of kind of sweeter fruit that kind of sticks in the back of the palate. Mm-hmm. A little bit too long for my flavor. I think a little like more acidity or complexity to mix it up would work better for me. But I can still see this pretty engaging.
I think the acidity's in a good place.
All right.
Personally, like I totally agree with Dan that they're almost, you could almost say that there would be like a hint of residual sugar here for like tiny like wee dram of it.
Wee dram.
But I can't honestly say without looking. Like I'm sure you could find the fact sheet for this. Yeah. But I don't know. I think overall it's a pretty nice wine.
Yeah, I think the tannins are in a good spot too. Not quite as interesting, boy.
This is more crowd pleasing than this wine.
You think so?
I think so.
I'm gonna go back and check this out while you continue to contemplate it.
Because I think we had said, like, you know, the Wine Farmer, the first one we did was a crowd pleasing style wine.
Yeah.
Ripe fruited. The alcohol was a little much. This, I think, the intensity is, the wine is well rounded.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not edgy in any place. The Wine Farmer had sort of strong alcohol, while it was very ripe and rich. This is sort of a little dialed down on the ripeness, but has more intensity.
Boy.
What do you think?
You know what? Something about the way the fruit lingers on the palate kind of detracts a little bit for me. The flavors are still good. I guess just a little bit of disagreement there. That's going to take it down to 85 for me. Still solid. Still at the price point. Totally drinkable, but a little less excitement here.
Yeah, another 87, 88 point wine for me. I really like the intensity. I really like how dense the fruit flavors are on the palate. Because there's just like a density there that's really different than all the other three wines. And maybe it's kind of cool.
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
This wine ended up on the last one, but like that almost
makes. That's also true.
Yeah, exactly. That was totally by chance. We did not pre-taste these wines. I think that like for Dan it detracted from him, but like for me it almost makes me wonder if there's a small amount of residual sugar here, like making play, like that's adding the weight, you know, that I'm experiencing. So
could be.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Anyway, that's our show. A lot of cool stuff today. This is the kind of thing we really like doing, right? Not quite as good as interviews, but up there. So.
Yeah, but I just love checking on new vintages, right?
Yeah.
Because you read about it, you follow the weather. Living here in Oregon, like you follow the weather and you're like, what are the wines going to taste like when you get them? And like here they are.
And we got a great mix of like some stuff we've never had before, some old favorites, right? Mm-hmm. A little bit of everything in between. The price point everybody loves to hear about. Let's move on to shout-outs. We got a bunch of them lined up today.
A lot of shout-outs.
Bradley Reese on YouTube. I'm bad about checking on the YouTube comments, but I caught yours lately. He's been commenting on a couple shows, giving us good compliments. Watch everything. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
We'll be slow to respond on YouTube, but hopefully you see this because I saw him and I appreciate that. Who you got? I got more, but I got.
So Andrew and Aaron, we can both send that one out. These are a couple guys we met at Chick's Wine Riesling tasting. Awesome to meet you guys.
Yep.
A couple guys that are looking to import German wines. Really love German wine as much as we do, I think.
Yep.
Or if not more, because they're looking to turn into a business.
They're making their lives out of it.
So it was really nice to meet you guys. And
keep your eye out for Klima Wine Handler in the future. That's their business. Keep your eye out for it.
All right. Yeah. And so, congrats to Lisa Hayworth on her retirement.
Thanks for watching.
I know Lisa has watched a few shows.
Yep.
Drew just told me. So, Lisa, if you see this,
thanks for
retirement.
watching. Yeah.
Let's drink some wine sometime. What do you got? Anyone else?
I got a few. We got Lyle Fass, Paul Willenberg, Ron Felthoven. Ron's probably one of our longest running fans.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for commenting, getting in because of the cat.
I love Ron's comments too.
Yes.
I mean, because they get a conversation started.
Yep.
Paul, Ron, and David, like, thanks guys for commenting so much. John, like, the conversation gets started almost every time.
It's always thoughtful and opinionated. Like, if you want to hear what people that drink these Oregon wines are talking about, follow the comments on our videos on Facebook. Get in on those.
Thank you so much.
And
for
then
watching and
Philip Mutter, a new light from somebody I don't know. Petey Rumi and Billy Weinheimer. Other people we don't know personally, so I'm always pumped to see names. I have no idea how you heard about us, and I hope you're enjoying the show.
finding it. And then lastly, Don and Matt Wanschneider. I believe that's the way to say it. So we should do dinner again sometime.
Cool. Thanks for watching the show. Thanks to all of you watching now.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, question of the day.
What wine region are you most excited about to try their new vintage? Like 2014. The 2014s are probably dropping for everywhere in the world right now.
Creeping their way in.
What are you most excited for in 2014?
Yeah, Mosul Valley.
Is it
right?
Oregon?
Game.
Is it Mosul?
Yeah.
Is it Mosul?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know anything about the 14 vintage. Do you? Have you?
Not much. No.
Oh, okay.
All
right. Well, anyway.
Ready to drink it. So.
Anyway, we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Cheers.